Welcome to Social Work 240 Session 16. This session is focused on sharing evaluation findings. Sharing evaluation results is a critically important part of the evaluation process, and it involves much more than simply giving a written document to someone. This cartoon illustrates what can happen to written evaluation reports when there is no facilitated process to promote the use of the evaluation's findings. Putting evaluation findings into practice involves a collaborative and interactional process between evaluators and program staff. This collaboration and interactional process involves several components which are the focus of this session. In the assigned readings by Cheyenne on evaluation utilization, sharing evaluation results is described in a four-step process that is based on Kolb's adult learning theory. The first step is the experience, which in this case is the actual evaluation, and included within that is an initial debriefing and review of the evaluation report. This represents the experience that all people involved will learn from. Many program evaluations stop at this first step, but in order for evaluation findings or any research in general to be used, a collaborative and interactional process between people involved in delivering the services, the people who conducted the evaluation, and the other stakeholders such as managers, supervisors, community members, and sometimes the clients or consumers of the services are all involved. The three remaining steps reflect this interactional learning process. Step 2 involves reflecting and generalizing on the findings. Step 3 is applying the findings by adapting the program as needed. And then Step 4 includes sharing the evaluation findings within the organization and outside the organization in broader fields. When preparing for the learning process, it's usually necessary to designate a learning facilitator, who is often the evaluator or liaison between the evaluator and the organization. The learning facilitator works with the project team to identify people to be included in the process, including people involved in delivering services, the people who conducted the evaluation, and other stakeholders such as managers, supervisors, community members, and sometimes the clients or consumers of the services. Next, a process can be developed that supports the 4 steps from the previous slide. The process will vary depending on the people, organization, and context. Large organizations or complex evaluations may require numerous meetings in order to allow enough time to discuss and reflect on the results. And in other contexts, just one meeting may be needed. In addition, in some large organizations, smaller subcommittees may be formed that focus on particular program areas. The exact process that is used will vary depending on the context. There is a need to ensure that the process does not allow for individuals, organizations, or groups to be blamed for results or a lack of results. Assigning blame promotes conflict and prevents cooperation, collaboration, and interactions, all of which are necessary in order for learning to occur and evaluation results to be put into practice. In the reflect and generalize step of the process, the group discusses the evaluation results and reflects on their meaning and how to put the results to use. Questions to consider in this step may include, did our theory of change work? Why or why not? Would a different theory of change have catalyzed a greater transformation? What happened as a result of these activities? What did not happen that we expected to happen as a result of these activities? And how can we improve our techniques? The goal of reflect and generalize is to create action steps, which are the actions to be taken in order to use the evaluation findings. Evaluation reports may contain numerous recommendations, and there is often a need to identify which recommendations to implement or which ones to implement first. Conclusions from the reflect and generalize process can be developed into a utilization plan. A utilization plan is like a work plan designed to apply the action steps that were developed from the reflect and generalize step. A written utilization plan is useful because it can capture important program changes that should be documented as part of the institutional memory of the organization. It is also very useful to share the utilization plan with the evaluation report in order to demonstrate what the organization is doing in response to the findings. The learning facilitator can continue their role by developing brief check-in processes to ensure the utilization plan is being used. Sharing evaluation results and utilization plans within an organization helps promote a shared understanding of program activities and outcomes. Usually, at a minimum, the evaluation plan and utilization plan can be distributed to the people within the organization. Usually, more interaction and communication is needed, such as hosting a workshop on the results and lessons learned, or also developing a short lessons learned summary. Sharing evaluation results externally or outside the organization is also valuable because it promotes collaboration with outside systems, such as donors, universities, or other experts, which can then bring further funding or learning to the organization. Evaluation results can be shared in the form of press releases, academic journal articles, or also including results in future proposals for funding. Sharing program evaluation results is one form of sharing research information in general. A fundamental problem that both researchers and practitioners often experience when sharing evaluation results are difficulties in being able to translate a research or evaluation finding into an action within the practice or policy context. In the article by Palinkas and Soicial, the problems in this translation of research information into practice or policy are described. They describe the problem in using research information as resulting from the difference between the global approach to services that is found in evidence-based research and the more local approach to services which is found within agencies. In addition, this problem is also described by the authors as a bidirectional problem, so that the difficulties in communication between research and practice do not just influence the practice setting, but also the research setting. Research and evaluation are improved with information from the practice setting. So better communication is needed between researchers and practitioners in order for research to become more useful, and also for research to be improved by incorporating practice perspectives. They describe interactions between researchers and practitioners as a cultural exchange because of the differences in the global perspectives of research and the local perspectives of practitioners. These differences in perspectives are described as differences in cultures, and therefore, in order to bridge these cultural differences, an exchange is needed. They define cultural exchange as a transaction of knowledge, attitudes, and practices that occurs when two individuals or groups of individuals representing diverse cultural systems interact and engage in a process of debate and compromise. It is a bidirectional process in which two or more participants derive something from and are changed as a result of the transaction. What is involved in this cultural exchange of research and practice? A collaborative relationship with an emphasis on processes that promote co-learning between partners is necessary. These processes are characterized by a sense of equality among all partners and a shared understanding of the value of interaction to the decision-making and learning process. In order for this sense of equality to occur, there is a need to acknowledge and value differences in the motivations that bring people to the discussion. And in order for the cultural exchange to be successful, everyone must feel a sense of trust in the process and the partners, and also a willingness to compromise and negotiate. The presence of a cultural broker or a learning facilitator who knows both systems and can serve as a champion for the processes is very helpful. The following questions are for you to consider when posting for the last discussion board and also for our in-class discussion. First, have you ever been involved in a cultural exchange between research and practice? If so, what did you learn from the process? Secondly, information in this session is focused on interactions between people as the mechanism through which to improve the use of research and practice. What are the obstacles to these processes? Why doesn't this process happen more often? And third, what structures could be developed to improve the ability and willingness of researchers and practitioners to interact and collaborate? An interactional process involves several components which are the focus of this session. In the assigned readings by Cheyenne on evaluation utilization, sharing evaluation. Welcome to Social Work 240 Session 16. This session is focused on sharing evaluation findings. Sharing results is described in a four-step process that is based on Kolb's adult learning theory. The first step is the experience, which in this case is the actual evaluation, and included within that is an initial evaluation results is a critically important part of the evaluation process, and it involves much more than simply giving a written document to someone. This cartoon illustrates what can happen to written evaluation reports when there is no facilitated process to promote the use of the evaluation's findings. Putting evaluation findings into practice involves a collaborative and interactional process between evaluators and program staff. This collaboration